Over the past few weeks, I've been getting a lot of emails asking me if I dispatch for box trucks. Now, at Guild 22, our expertise is with semi-trucks, which means we currently don't dispatch to box trucks. However, I have been doing a lot of research and I believe I figured out the best method to find loads for box trucks. So, if you have a box truck or you're looking to buy one, keep watching this video because I'm going to show you the easiest and best method to find loads. Hey everyone, it's Gurpreet here from Guild 22, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how to find loads for box trucks, sprinter vans, cargo vans, and other expedited equipment. But real quick, before we jump into the video, I would really appreciate it if you take 5 seconds out of your day and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications so you're the first to see all my new videos. All right, so with that out of the way, let's just jump into the video. Okay, so the very first step to finding a load for your box truck, sprinter van, cargo van, etc. is to have a complete understanding of your equipment. This means knowing the rules and regulations when it comes to operating your specific truck, the weight limitations, the payload capacity, the cargo volume, fuel capacity, fuel consumption, and much, much more. Basically, what I'm trying to say is you need to know what your truck is capable of doing and what the law restricts you from doing before you go out and try looking for loads. For example, if I have a 26-foot box truck, I can only book loads that weigh up to 10,000 pounds, whereas if I had a 16-foot cab over truck, I can only cover loads that weigh up to 7,500 pounds. I'm obviously picking a very simple example just to show you guys what I'm talking about, but I bet there are a lot of people watching this video that don't even know what their average fuel consumption is for their truck, and they definitely don't know what their cost per mile is. Again, before you start looking for loads, it's crucial to understand the capability of your equipment and what laws you have to follow. So that's step number one. The next step after you get a basic understanding of your equipment is to do a deep analysis of your market. This not only means figuring out which geographical location you want to serve, but also figuring out what type of loads you want to carry and which companies in your area are shipping those loads. Now, most of you in the beginning will be using load boards, which means you will transport a wide range of loads. You know, you won't necessarily have a niche to focus on, such as furniture moving, appliance delivery, etc. And that's completely fine. However, you should start looking at possible niches that you can enter into with a competitive advantage, because the long-term goal of a box truck business or a semi-truck business, whether you're owner-operator or not, is to get away from the spot market and start working dedicated loads with shippers. All right, so after you feel like you have a good understanding of your equipment and your market, it's time to actually start booking the loads. And as I mentioned before, the easiest way to do this when you're just starting out is by using a load board. Now, there are a bunch of load boards that you can use, and in my experience, they all just post the same type of loads. So just pick one or two that you feel comfortable with and that provide the features that you find useful, you know? If you only have the money to buy one, I would recommend going with DAT. It's probably the biggest load board in the US, which means it offers the most amount of loads. And DAT also has a bunch of useful features that every trucker can benefit from, such as tri-haul, heat maps, lane makers, and much, much more. It sounds like a sponsorship for DAT, but I promise I'm not sponsored by them. And I won't go into too much detail on how to actually use the load board in this video, but if you want to learn more about DAT, how to use it, and what makes it better, in my opinion, than other load boards, then you can watch my video that I made on it a few months ago. However, I will, in today's video, quickly show you how to find loads for box trucks on DAT, because there is a specific method you will need to follow to do that. Alright, so under the search load section, you will want to click new load search, just like you would when trying to find any load on DAT. However, there are a few filters that you will want to set up and save before clicking search. First and foremost, under truck, click only, and in the box next to it, you will want to filter by SB for straight box truck and VH for van hotshot. So these will be your two main equipment types that you will search for, but you will also want to include van loads, which is just the letter V on DAT. Now you might be saying to yourself, well, why would I filter for van loads if I only have a box truck? Obviously, I don't have the same amount of space as a dry van. Well, the reason why we're going to include van loads in our filters is because we're going to try to look for partial van loads that will fit our box truck. We can do this by going to the full/partial option and selecting the both option from the list of choices. Obviously, that way we'll be able to see both full and partial loads. We will also want to filter by the length and weight of our box truck or van or whatever equipment we have. So under the length, I'll use 26 feet as an example. And for weight, based on the 26 feet, I'll use 10,000 pounds because I did my research and I know that for a 26-foot box truck, I can only carry loads that go up to 10,000 pounds. Again, the length and weight of your equipment may be different than what I'm using. If you follow the first step, you should already know the length and payload capacity of your truck. All right, so when that's done, just go ahead and fill out the rest of the filters, such as origin, destination, and deadhead miles. And when you're done, just go ahead and click search. Here you'll find a lot of loads that have been posted. You know, this is where you actually have to pick up the phone and negotiate with brokers if you don't have a dispatcher. If you feel uncomfortable negotiating or talking to brokers, I have made a step-by-step video that shows you how to negotiate that you can watch after this video. If for some reason you can't find any loads that fit the requirements that you're looking for, just go back into the filters section by clicking edit and include some more equipment types such as VG, or a van with a liftgate, VR, which is just a van or reefer, and VW, which is a van with a blanket wrap. Also, feel free to look through the list of options here and include any that kind of match the equipment that you have. Just another tip, when you're talking to brokers on the phone, just ask them if your box truck or cargo van, sprinter van, or whatever you have will be able to accommodate the load. And 9 times out of 10, if you have your filters set up right, they will say yes. If you're having trouble finding loads on DAT, you can also use Amazon Relay, which is another great source for finding loads for expedited equipment. Oh, and just a quick side note, if you're still struggling to figure out how much to charge brokers to carry loads, you definitely need to watch my How to Negotiate with Brokers video. I not only show you how to negotiate with brokers, but I also show you how to figure out what you should charge brokers. So if that's something you're interested in, go ahead and watch that video after you're done with this one. But if you don't want to watch that video, that's completely fine. I'll just give you a quick summary. Basically, whenever you do business, before you try to figure out or try to guess how much you will charge your customers or clients, you need to figure out what your expenses are. And for us truckers, we need to know our expenses per mile, or in other words, our cost per mile. If you're already a subscriber and you've been watching my videos for a while, you already know that I make free templates that I just give away from time to time. And the first template that I ever made was a CPM calculator that you can use to calculate or roughly calculate your CPM. So if you're new and you're wondering how you can download one, just go to www.guild22.com/templates and just scroll down a little bit until you see the CPM calculator section and just click download. Once you have that downloaded and you use that to figure out your CPM, you can then decide how much you want to profit or how much profit you want to make at the very least every year, and add that amount to your CPM number, and you'll have a rough idea of how much you need to charge brokers when looking for loads. If that was kind of confusing, I do a much better job explaining this concept in the actual video, so make sure you watch that after this. All right, so that pretty much covers how to find loads for box trucks, sprinter vans, cargo vans, and other expedited equipment. But before I end this video, there are a few more things you need to keep in mind when you're looking for loads. So first and foremost, when you're negotiating loads with brokers, make sure you ask them if the load that you're about to carry is no-touch freight. For those of you that are brand new to the industry, no-touch freight basically means that you are not responsible for loading the pallets or boxes onto your truck. Essentially, you will not touch the freight or load at all. The warehouse workers will be the ones who are responsible for putting the load onto your truck while you just sit in your truck and relax. Most of the loads on DAT and Amazon will be no-touch freight, but I have heard that a few box truck loads require you to move the load onto your truck yourself. Now, if that's the case, it's completely fine if you're physically healthy, you know. The shipper and receiver you go to should have some pallet jacks for you to use, but I would consider investing in your own pallet jack if you feel like you're getting a lot of loads that require you to manually load on your truck. Also, another tip that I often mention on this channel is learning to negotiate. I honestly think that financially, it's a very smart business move to hire a quality dispatcher and delegate out all the negotiating and dealing with brokers and shipper stuff that you don't want to deal with. Not only do you have more time to grow your business, but in many cases, you actually end up making more money than you would without a dispatcher, even after you pay them their fee. That being said, if you are an owner-operator and you're looking for a stress-free, high-paying company to work with, feel free to apply for one of our owner-operator positions at www.guild22.com/careers. It's really easy and it should only take 5 minutes to apply. Finally, the last thing I want to mention is that you don't have to upgrade to a semi-truck if you find a lot of success with a box truck. Now, personally, I love working with semi-trucks because there are a lot of possibilities for the types of loads that it can deliver due to the amount of space and weight it can hold. However, if you love box trucks and you don't want to make the jump to semi-trucks, there's no rule that says that you have to. I know the reason that most box truck owners don't want to get into a semi is because they're too expensive and they don't know if they'll make money running a semi truck. If you're one of those box truck owners and that's your biggest concern, I can almost guarantee that if you work with a high quality dispatcher, you will make money. And it doesn't just have to be us at Guild 22. There are a bunch of great companies that you can work with. Again, I can't 100% guarantee anything legally, but in all my years that we've been dispatching and operating, we've never had a single month where our owner operators didn't make a decent profit when they were working. In my world, that's not even possible. And I'm only saying that to give all you box truck owners a boost in confidence to make the jump over to a semi-truck if you want to. At the end of the day, you can make a lot more money with a semi-truck than a box truck. So if you want to make the jump and you're looking for a high quality dispatcher, feel free to check us out and fill out an owner operator application at www.guild22.com/careers. Also, while you're there, feel free to download one of my free templates at www.guild22.com/templates. Again, they're all free, but you will need to put in your name and email to receive it. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video, guys. If you found this video even a little useful, please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and turning on post notifications so you're the first to see all my new videos. All right, so with that being said, thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.